This is the part 3 of our Feelings Humans Can't Explain series. We will going to see more feelings in this video, so if you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2 to get the context better, don't forget to watch it before this one. This list includes all the feelings that we have already talked in the previous videos, so in this video we will continue with our normal pace and talk about more feelings. So don't forget to drop a like and a comment, and let's go. Well, I was going through the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows website again to search for more feelings, and I realized that this website has much more feelings than I thought. Many feelings. Feelings for basically any situation and anything. So, as I usually do, the first feeling we're going to talk here is the thumbnail one. In this case is symphomania. I don't know if that's how you say it, but symphomania is the fantasy that there is some elaborate diagnosis out there that neatly captures the kind of person you are, tying together your many flaws and contradictions into a single theme, which wouldn't necessarily sort out the mess inside your head, but would at least let you mark it with a little sign so people know to walk around it. In my opinion, this feeling represents the moment when you realize how complex you are in every single aspect. So you think to yourself, is there a single concentrated concept that represents me and that other people actually see? When I think about it, my conclusion is that you cannot represent someone with a unique concept. The perspective that people have of you is completely different from yours. Wellian is an excuse you come up with to rationalize a disappointing outcome, telling yourself you weren't in the mood for that sold-out show anyway, that your safe to school is actually a better fit, that your dream job might have been a bit too stressful. I think we all have gone through this. Your mind tries to convince you that something was not good enough because the results were not as you expected. Basically, our minds will choose to lie to ourselves instead of accepting that we can improve, and maybe a result is actually a consequence of what we've done, and even sometimes things that we cannot control. Changing our perspective of things and our opinions is, in most of the time, easier than accepting the truth. Joska is a hypothetical conversation that you compulsively play out in your head, a crisp analysis, a devastating comeback, a cathartic heart-to-heart, which serves as a kind of psychological batting cage that feels more satisfying than the small ball strategies of everyday life. Sometimes we don't have the courage to face life challenges, and playing out scenarios in our minds, it's easier because we can control them. We can basically create the outcomes, create the conversation, create the version of ourselves that will be presented in our hypothetical scenario. Our minds and even ourselves, our sense of being, like to predict anxiety and predict outcomes. So making these things, creating scenarios, creating things to imagine and resolve themselves, it's only a way our mind finds, basically to show that we are in control, even when we are not. Xeno or Xeno is the smallest measurable unit of human connection, typically exchanged between passing strangers, a warm smile, a sympathetic nod, a shared laugh about some odd coincidence, moments that are fleeting and random but still contain powerful emotional nutrients that can alleviate the symptoms of feeling alone. When you remember that you have neighbors, that you have people that you know, they will basically always be there, even for a small talk, as I said. But feeling like you're not totally alone, and these small experiences actually make a difference in our lives. There are always people around, people that we know since our childhood, people that will say hi to you, people that will compliment you, people that will make you happy with small acts. Not everything has to be a deep and profound conversation to be felt. Anomia is the fear that learning the name of something will basically ruin the concept. I tried to resume this feeling because it is basically the way our brains try to keep the informations that we like or that we are more familiar to, more connected to, because knowing the deep parts of something, in this case is the name, might sometimes change our perspective and even our opinions. So sometimes our minds only like to retain the information that we like the most in many situations, and eudaimonia is basically the representation of this feeling. It's a little complex, but we can feel this in our daily lives. Craxus is the unease of knowing how quickly your circumstances could change on you, that no matter how carefully you shape your life into what you want it to be, the whole thing could be overturned in an instant. This feeling represents how fast our lives can change. Basically, how patterns are not totally secure, like life is not 100% defined by our acts. Some things are just random. You could die at any moment. You could make something that would drastically change your life at any moment. And sometimes, and most of the times, we don't know it, but we can't control it. But in my opinion, this is also part of life. I think that if we were aware of every single thing that happened to us, maybe we would be a little sad, because surprises and random events also build who we are, and life is always changing. And in my opinion, that's what makes it so beautiful. I intend to make a part 4 of this series, or even a part 5, a final part of course. As long as you guys continue liking it and comment what you think about the series, I will continue. I don't know if the next video will be related to this series, probably not, because I'm planning other videos related to the topic of the channel. But feelings will be always one of the most interesting things to talk here. Don't forget to watch the part 1 and part 2 if you haven't watched it yet, and stay tuned for the part 4 and for the next videos of the channel. Comment your opinions below, as I say. Thank you guys for your support till here. Bye.